Hello everyone, welcome back to another video of Living with Ashley J. And you're here, you've reached me at True Story. So today I want to talk about a topic that's near and dear to my heart, just simply because I want to talk about awareness, okay, on this topic. So if you read the topic, you already know what I'm discussing today. 5 things they do not tell you about being a mom, okay? I know you can think of so many, right? So before I was a mom a long time ago, I had these aunties, these cousins, uncles, friends, and whatnot. I'll tell you, don't have no kids. Don't have no kids, but they don't tell you why. So I want to discuss 5 things they don't tell you about being a mom. If you are not subscribed, might as well subscribe here. You'll love it here. You're here now. And I certainly appreciate your support. So number 1, they don't tell you about being a mom. What they don't discuss with you is the emotional attachment of actually being a parent, okay? Regardless if your child is in the womb, regardless if they're small, toddler, a baby, or even at this point, high school age or grown, okay? You have that emotional attachment that will follow you throughout your entire lives. So the emotional attachment I'm discussing is like the woes of being a mother. So, and I don't want to say necessarily that you're worried or concerned, but you are obviously going to go that extra mile for your child. Whatever it takes, you'll get it done. So those woes, like, did they wake up on time for school? Did they eat? Did they get enough vitamins? Am I going to have enough money for this? Paying for college? All these little things. Or, hey, are they safe? Did they make it there? All these things, regardless of what age your child is, you will experience those things of being a mother and trying to protect them from the worries of this world. Number 2, what they do not discuss with you about being a mom is, along the same lines, postpartum depression. I just really don't think it lasts in a short amount of time that they're saying. I really think it lasts, to be honest, the first 2 years of the child's life. I think your body goes through an emotional developmental change, and it's different with every child. I think things progress in a different way, and your hormones and emotions tend to change. So make sure that you do all the necessary things. And I had to learn the hard way. Take time for yourself, such as plan a play date. And this doesn't necessarily have to, well, this helped me when my kids were younger. I had friends that had kids around my age or slightly older, slightly younger. And we would just plan to either go to a mall or do something. Okay. And that's good too. But see if you can find a babysitter and detach, whether that's doing something at home, watching a movie to yourself, having a glass of wine, walk in the park, a pedicure, something along the lines. Even more extravagant, if you can afford it, take a vacation by yourself. Very much well needed. If you can't afford to go out of town, do a staycation. Maybe a hotel that has a spa, things of that sort. So you can have time for yourself. I learned the hard way as a parent to take time for myself so that I could pour into myself, so that I can extend. There is no way that you can do anything as a mother or for anyone from an empty cup. Number 3, what they don't tell you about being a mom is the expenses. Child, I know y'all know I was getting to the expenses. The expenses of being a parent. It does not stop with clothing, Pampers, shelter. It goes beyond that. We're talking about college, medical bills, things of that sort. So make sure that you are financially prepared throughout your child's life. I would say up until your child is between 22 and 25, because if they're going to go to college as well, grad school, trade school, you want to be able to support your child as much as you can, even if they have scholarship, they have a job, and they are working. And this is from experience, because I have children in college at this point, and baby, they still need you to reach out and extend that extra measure of love from the pocket, okay? Whether it be sending goodies via mail if they're not in the same city as you, sending those random Cash App, Venmo, Zelles, or whatever that you need to send, or just picking up those extra toiletry products for them or clothing items for them so they don't have to do so for themselves. trust me, the expenses add up and they pile up. And like my kids, they come home and still eat. So the expenses, make sure you are fully prepared. One thing I recommend now that I've had my children and they're older is if I could do it all over again, y'all, I would still have my children, but I would make sure that I had a huge savings for each of my children, so then I have something to grab from, not just for college fund, just for a fun period for each kid. As they're growing, I would just add more money into that. So that's just my recommendation. Make sure that you are financially stable, not just for the regular bills, but to be able to support your kids throughout their entire life, until they're ending college. And I'll hear some of my friends and coworkers that are older that have children, and they still do from their kids. So it's a lifelong process of being able that support, that nesty for the kids to have, just in case they need the extra shoulder to lean on, even when they get older in life. So make sure that your expenses are there. Number 4, things they do not tell you about being a mom. When your kids have friends and they go to school and things of that sort, you just need to make sure that you are in a great, healthy, mental, physical, and spiritual position, that you are able to pour into your child so they make great decisions is regarding relationships. So the relationship between you and your child, that bond needs to be more grand and more, needs to have that more of that closeness. Sorry, that is not a word. More close than ever before. Your relationship needs to be tight. Okay. Make sure that they have other people that are reliable sources, that have a good rapport, that they are able to reach out to and extend in case they run into a hiccup and you are not available, whether you get sick or not. Okay. So just make sure that you raise your kids. And I'm sighing because I'm telling you, y'all, that being a mother, a parent, is way deeper than what you think it is. Bringing a child into this world, it extends way beyond the cute little bump and the baby showers and the happy birthday songs and everything else. It is a lifelong commitment that is bigger than what you think. So make sure that you instill those values and those morals and the godly factor, whatever God you worship, into your children so they may make the right decisions even when you're not around. Number 5, this is a huge one. Number 5, okay? Make sure, okay, that you create a foundation for your children so they may, and this kind of ties into the last one, so they may be able to make good decisions based on how you rear them to be a healthy young adult and moving forward. So whether that's emotional, spiritual, financial, physical, educational, those decisions, to be able to make sound decisions when you're not around. For example, your kids should be able to know how to balance a checkbook. What's the difference between simple things like long-term versus a traditional life insurance policy? All right. Your kids should be well equipped on a healthy credit score, things of that sort. Make sure that you are doing the things necessary, that you are instilling those things in your children so they have a better future. Y'all, let me just give you an example. When I graduated college and, I went to community college. I didn't get a chance to go to university. Thank God my children have that opportunity. But paying for college out of pocket, y'all, no one told me that these bills will come to haunt you. You just say, hey, you go and you apply for the FAFSA and you get the money, blah, 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 blah. So what I'm just saying, sometimes everybody's not on the same level. You can't expect just because the parents come from a great background that your friends and your other family members will share their extents to their stories and give you that great advice that you'll need to move forward. So I didn't have nobody saying, hey, Ashley, you need to pay this bill. hey, Ashley, call and get a payment plan. You know, don't stress about the bill. You know, break it up into 4 payments over the next 4 checks. You know, I had to learn that the hard way. No one said, hey, you know what? Even though this looks real good on you and it'll look good, maybe you ought to stop buying that and then focus on this. You know what I mean? So what I'm basically saying is make sure that you spend quality time with your child and you build a rapport so they're able to be fully equipped whether you are present or not. Make sure that there is good foundation. One thing I like doing with my children, I give them a journal. And the journal, and this is my last little tip for you guys. This is a journal and we converse so that if I need to share some information with them or whatnot, it's done and it's written down in that journal. And I think it's better than an email because that could get erased. And it's better than verbal communication or text because text, so many texts go by, it could get lost in communication or lost in translation. But a journal, information that's there, whether it's a recipe or whether it's a breakdown of how to keep your credit going, good scriptures to read when you get stressed out, whatever you have as far as a line of communication, make sure that that's grand between you and your children. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's not going to be peaches and cream all the time. It's going to get rocky because they need to have the opportunity to bump their heads and come and see and make their own decisions and make their own mistakes. But if you rear them in the right direction, they'll be able to decipher and they'll come back around. Okay, so I'm just going to encourage you today. Just think about whether you are in the stage of you haven't had children yet or you have them now, whether you're married, divorced, widow, whatever. This video can be for anybody just to refer to just take a minute if you are not doing any of these things or that you were just like, is there something I'm missing? Is something else I could be doing? Because right now we live in a way different world than I grew up in and a lot of you watching have grown up in. So, and this can also be applied to your grandchildren. You know, sometimes you have those situations where you didn't have a great relationship with your child. Now you have grandchildren and you're trying to find ways on how to instill in them because maybe you missed the mark. Or maybe, just maybe, you have learned more things that you knew when you were raising your kid. And now you're like, And your kid is like, man, why my grandma or why grandma or why mom didn't teach me these things? Maybe they didn't know. Sometimes you can't fault them for things they didn't do. They didn't do because they didn't know. And that's okay too. Okay. Some things are just trial and error. Nobody had a simple manual. And it's going to come from testimonies from different people to say, hey, this is what I did. This helped me along the way. So I'm just being that vessel to see, just maybe if this will help you. And if it's not if this is something that doesn't fit you, make sure you pass it along to someone else. Because one thing I have learned, they might not listen to you, but they'll listen to someone else, and all the information might not be applicable, but just that one thing will help them get to that level they were looking to get on. So again, take time just to think, plan out whether you are married, whatever the situation is, plan it out. Even if you're looking at adoption or what have you, plan this thing out. Okay. Make sure you have a good, safe plan in place so that you'll have something to refer to if things get tough. Or if you get in situations, you get about, sometimes you don't have an opportunity or the time to read a whole book on parenting or a whole book on strategies or this and that and the third, and sometimes, to be honest with you, it's kind of uncomfortable asking your friend or your family members when sometimes you don't want to ask them and you kind of just want your own path. Find different ways. So I'm just going to encourage you on today. Whoever told you not to have a kid, you make your own decision. But I hope this video finds you well, because not just making decisions to have a child, but also I'm just going to tell you that it's important to have the necessary things in place so that you can be a successful parent, regardless if you're a mother, a stepmother, or what have you. If you're stepping up to the plate, you know, you could be a godmom, whatever the situation is. Make sure that you take the time to, most importantly, have time for yourself so you can pour into yourself, so you can extend to others. And like I say always, be kind to yourself, others, including strangers, and until next time.